Beijing threatens to fight back if Tsai meets McCarthy. Taiwan president is steadfast. Honduras gives Taiwan deadline to pack up and leave. Exports of chip equipment to China tumble as U.S. control restrictions count. TikTok data center consumes energy for making Ukraine ammunition, company says. Press freedom in Hong Kong under threat once again.
On March 29th, Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen left Taiwan to visit Central America. On her way, she has a stopover in the U.S., and the Chinese regime reacted strongly to Tsai's trip. According to Taiwan News, China's Taiwan Affairs Office spokesperson Zhu Fenglian on the same day said that the so-called U.S. stopover during Tsai's journey to Central America was an act of relying on the U.S. to provoke Beijing. Zhu accused Tsai of looking for opportunities to sell ideas for Taiwan's independence and seek support from anti-China forces in the U.S. She criticized the Taiwanese president for using the transit to meet with U.S. government officials and members of Congress to exchange in official exchanges between the U.S. and Taiwan and to link up with external anti-China forces. Zhu then warned that if Tsai meets House Speaker McCarthy, it will be another provocation that seriously violates the One China principle, damages China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and undermines peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. The TAO spokesperson added that China firmly opposes this and will definitely take resolute measures to fight back. However, in her speech before boarding the plane, President Tsai said that Taiwan's determination to reach the world would only become more robust. She said that leading Taiwan in going out into the world and enabling the world to come to Taiwan are important goals of our governance. The female president added, "External pressure will not hinder Taiwan's determination to go out into the world. We are calm and confident, and we will not yield or provoke."
The Taiwanese embassy has been instructed to pull out of Honduras within 30 days after abandoning a decades-long relationship with the self-ruling island for China. According to Reuters, local television aired Deputy Foreign Minister Antonio Garcia announcing the order on March 27th. He said 30 days were, quote, more than enough time to pack up and leave, end quote. Garcia further said that officials wanted an orderly and friendly departure. With the Taiwan embassy out, he also emphasized the importance of a diplomatic mission to China. Reuters added that he expected the new diplomatic partner to invest around $10 billion in Honduras to benefit local staff. He said, "We have to go there to explore the big projects that China can give us." Jeff Liu, a spokesperson for Taiwan's foreign ministry, said that 30 days was a standard practice internationally, and that they would give more remarks later. Regarding Honduran students with scholarships in Taiwan, the ministry said their scholarships would continue until the current terms concluded. By then, they receive one-way tickets home. The ministry said Honduran students would also opt to study in China. Until March 25th, Honduras was among 14 governments that still diplomatically recognized Taipei over Beijing. That relationship has reversed after Honduras accepted what is referred to as China's dollar diplomacy, instead of a democracy-based tie with Taiwan. On the other hand, the conservative National Party pledged on March 27th to reinstate ties with Taiwan if it can recapture the Honduran presidency in 2026. It said, "We will do the impossible to restore relations with our brothers and sisters in the Republic of Taiwan."
Exports of chip-making equipment from U.S. and Japan to China dropped for the first time in 3 years as Washington tightened its restrictions on cutting-edge chip technology to the Chinese regime. According to Nikkei Asia, 3 major countries with semiconductor technology, the U.S., Japan, and the Netherlands, faced a significant fall in chip exports to China. In the fourth quarter of last year, Chinese exports of chip manufacturing equipment to China decreased by 16%, while the U.S. had a 50% plunge and the Netherlands experienced a record 44% drop. This is more alarming for the Chinese chip industry as Japan and the U.S.'s exports to the rest of the world grew 26% and 10%. All 3 countries are home to top tech firms in the semiconductor industry, with Applied Materials from the U.S., ASML from the Netherlands, and Tokyo Electron from Japan. The Nikkei Asia, citing Chinese media, reported that China's imports of chip-making equipment fell 15% to nearly $35 billion, the first drop in 3 years. The downtrend continued into 2023 when imports in the first 2 months of 2023 shrunk 21% on the year, while semiconductor imports dropped around 25%. Last October, the U.S. imposed export control restrictions on chip-making equipment to China. The move from Washington aims to cut off China's access to chips used in artificial intelligence and supercomputing that the regime exploits to build up its chip industry and enhance its military. The U.S. has urged Japan and the Netherlands to join its export control curbs to strengthen and protect advanced chip technology. Both countries are working on restrictions of their own. The Dutch government said it planned to add more to its export control measures as early as summer. According to industry insiders, Beijing is also under high pressure from other measures from the U.S. restrictions. This includes blocking design software exports or banning American engineers from working at Chinese facilities. An industry insider said China is a decade behind in advanced chip development, and it'll be next to impossible for them to catch up to U.S. technology. TikTok has been accused of consuming too much regional electricity, leaving one nearby ammunition factory with little to carry out its production plan. Nordic group Nammo has established itself as one of Europe's most prominent ammunition producers. Its largest plant in central Norway was meant to churn out artillery rounds to serve surging demand from Ukraine. That plan has been stalled as the region didn't have enough power to operate the plant. Nearby is a new TikTok center in construction, and the ammo company believes that all the electricity was going into this project. Morten Brandtzæg told the Financial Times, "We are concerned because we see our future growth is challenged by the storage of cat videos." In progress, TikTok Center is expected to become a European data storage that would appease privacy concerns from officials. The company has already tarnished itself for disclosing last year that Chinese personnel could access European user data and spy on journalists using its app to detect leaks. But its construction came at a time when Nammo needed to step up its production to meet Ukraine demand, which was 15 times higher than normal. Brandtzæg said Europe's munitions sector needs new facilities worth €2 billion, $2.16 billion, to satisfy demand from Ukraine. According to the Financial Times, some assessments indicate that the Eastern European nation is launching 6,000 to 7,000 artillery projectiles daily and suffering ammunition scarcity after more than 12 months of war. Nammo's Brandtzæg said, "We need an extraordinary demand for our products which we have never seen before in our history." The local energy provider, Elvia, told the Financial Times that the data center had used up all the available electricity network capacity, which was given on a first-come, first-served basis. It added that more capacity for Nammo will take time if they request it because the network needs to be strengthened. On the TikTok Center and its location, Brandtzæg said, "I will not rule out that it's not by pure coincidence that this activity is close to a defense company. I can't rule it out."
Recently, many Hong Kong journalists have reason to suspect that law enforcement officers are spying on them. But Hong Kong police criticized the allegations as frivolous. According to VOA Cantonese, those suspected of being monitored include a female reporter from the Hong Kong Free Press and 2 reporters from 2 other local media. According to Hong Kong Free Press, 2 men stood watch on its female reporter from outside her residence. According to a clip captured by an online newspaper reporter, a strange man in plain clothes and wearing a Bluetooth headset was suspected of stalking the female reporter. However, the man didn't answer when questioned and quickly left. After this incident was uncovered, several local news outlets also reported to the Hong Kong Journalists Association, or HKJA, that their reporters were being followed or monitored by unidentified people. Zhou, an executive committee member of the HKJA, said in an interview with Voice of America that 2 reporters suspected they were followed during their coverage of a case at Wan Chai District Court on March 21st. An unidentified man waited for an hour outside the court's reporter room. Zhou said, when the 2 court reporters left the press room, that person tried to follow them, but they got into the elevator, and that person didn't have time to enter the elevator with them. The HKJA called on the police to thoroughly investigate the incident. However, the Hong Kong police sent a letter to the Journalists Association, saying that the allegations involved were speculation and suggested that the association should avoid spreading false reports and comments to avoid damaging the reputation of its law enforcement, and undermine the fact that journalism is always based on facts. Zhou pointed out to VOA that law enforcement has yet to be able to answer whether or not law enforcement officers were there. Zhou added that the total membership of the HKJA has decreased by more than 63% in 2.5 years. After the implementation of the national security law in 2020, larger media organizations, such as Apple Daily and Standpoint News, have closed down one after another, and journalists have been arrested. As a result, the number of young people willing to join the press is decreasing. Taking the members of the HKJA as an example, there were about 800 in mid-2020, of which 550 were full-time members. As of the beginning of 2023, the total number of members reduced by half to about 400, and the number of full-time members has been significantly reduced to about 200. Hong Kong independent reporter Lin Yangbang said that with little freedom of the press left, many reporters say that being followed is psychologically stressful. The most challenging thing is that they will never know who those tracking and monitoring are. He worried that the incident might lead to media self-censorship.